Let's welcome to the show. He's a member of House Foreign Affairs. He's Congressman Mark Green. Congressman, it's great to have you back on. We talked about this about a month ago, and it's happening. Now, senior Biden administration officials warning Congress in testimony yesterday that China's military is actively preparing for a potential attack against Taiwan. Russia could attack Ukraine. Could this happen at the same time?
Absolutely. I think they'll both take it. One could take advantage of the other. Several years ago, Liz, the United States decided to do away with the strategy of being able to fight two simultaneous battles on the globe. So we basically went to one and a maybe. Russia and China know this. They also know that we've got a very weak president. After Afghanistan, they understand that the will of our leadership, not necessarily the will of the American people, but the will of our leadership is faulty. And when it comes to winning, both Russia and China know we have the capability to stop them. We do. The issue is the will of the leadership. And with this guy, it's a big question mark.
Well, we hear you. I mean, by the way, the White House is denying as categorically false an Associated Press report that said Biden was going to appease Russia by getting the Ukraine to cede over, to give Russia eastern sections of Ukraine's own country. But the White House is saying that's false. But back to your point about capitalizing on the White House's problems. Today, the president at the first White House Summit for Democracy with 110 countries said democracies face a reckoning. But your point is about leadership. He's weakened by his standing in the polls. His domestic agenda is stalled. They have no appetite for U.S. military intervention anywhere. Senator Tim Kaine says you got to do that because our adversaries will capitalize on weakness. What do you say?
No, I say that's exactly the issue with this president. He's perceived as weak after the failure of the withdrawal in Afghanistan. And so we know for a fact think tanks in Russia are saying to President Putin that this president, they're citing Afghanistan and saying he won't respond. And remember this too, Liz, the last time Russia invaded Ukraine was when Joe Biden was vice president. So whenever there's a Democrat in office, I guess Russia thinks they can invade Ukraine. So it's time for strength, or this president needs to step down, and let's get somebody in there who has a backbone.
We want your take on this. Republican senators are saying Biden's weak policy on Nord Stream 2 opened the door to Russian aggression. In fact, the leader of Ukraine, the president there, said in August that his government views a pipeline as a dangerous geopolitical weapon that the Kremlin would be using. Let's watch Senators Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz on this. Watch.
So you're about to lose world order here. We've been supporting Taiwan for decades with armaments and democracy-building measures. We've enticed them to be a democracy. If we bail out on Taiwan, who's next? So the world is going to begin to crumble when rules don't matter and treaties don't matter. They broke the treaty with Hong Kong to ensure its democratic status. So the Ukraine matters to us unless you want to live in a world of chaos.
The eyes of history are on the Senate today. If the Nord Stream 2 pipeline comes online, as it is on the verge of doing, the odds of Russian tanks rolling into Ukraine increase dramatically. We have imposed sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline with bipartisan unity. We can do it again.
What do you say, Congressman?
So the Nord Stream 2 pipeline is now a leverage point that Putin has. So he addicts Western Europe to his natural gas. They need it in the winter to heat their homes. So he invades in the middle of winter and has this leverage point over Western Europe. So the support of our allies, actually, Putin has a lever over them that he would not have if our president had kept the sanctions on the Nord Stream 2. This, another failure of this president. He basically handed an economic weapon to Vladimir Putin.